Live. Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this live finds you. I'm super excited to be here with you all today. I'm really showing up here in the name of inspired action. And I have some teachings that I want to bring forward. And whoever is here and receives this, I trust that this message is meant for you. So whatever it is that you are looking for in life is always going to find you, as long as you're actually looking for it. If you're asking the right questions, you magnetize the answers to those questions. You magnetize them to you. So I'm here today because I just wanted to speak a little bit around the difference between right and wrong, good and bad, like black and white thinking and nuanced thinking. And I have a lot to say about this, and I just wanted to give myself some time and space to just speak it. So I don't have any notes, but I do have experience living in my body, and I'm just going to tap into that and just allow myself to be led. So I got a hater. I got a hater last night, and honestly, it didn't bother me. It actually gave me energy. It gave me energy. I'm not bothered by it at all. Like, I can feel into a past version of myself that would be so bothered by this. Like when I first started experiencing or exploring like spirituality outside of the religious context, there was a lot of hesitation, worry, doubt, fear that was present for me. I grew up Catholic. I went to Catholic school for 18 straight years, preschool, all the way through graduating college. It was all Catholic education, all of it. And I'm super grateful for my experience with Catholicism in my studies and like otherwise. Like my parents actually weren't like super religious. Like they didn't like make us go to church on Sunday, like every Sunday. But they sent us to Catholic school, and I'm grateful for that because it taught me how to have faith in something. It taught me the power of belief. And it really got me into a place of opening myself up spiritually to even ask these bigger life questions. And I still consider myself to be Catholic. I don't renounce the Catholic Church. I mean, I'm sure we all know, like, they've done some weird stuff. Everybody's done some weird stuff. Like, the truth is, there's a law. I'm going to share this law with you. I actually haven't shared this law yet with my life school people, but I will be sharing this one. The law of the imperfect teacher. The law of the imperfect teacher, which states that all teachers produce greatness. All things in life that we learn from have great aspects to them. There's amazing things. There's beautiful things that they bring forward for us. But all teachers in life also are human, and they produce shit, right? They have their human imperfections. A cow has udders for milk, and it also has a booty hole to poop, right? So all things exist on a spectrum of duality. There's good in the bad, there's bad in the good. It's just like, what are you choosing to focus on at the end of the day? What are you choosing to focus on? And, you know, moving out of the right and wrong thinking into the more nuanced way of life, you know, the truth is that was hard. That was hard. So I recognize why people choose the black and white thinking, because it's easier. Have somebody else tell me what the rules are. I don't have to think about it. I just fall in line. And I just want to say that, like, we're not trying to impress God so that he deems us worthy. We're trying to become gods in our own right. I love that Kanye West song, like, I am a god. You are. You are a creator of your own reality. Hey, Jose, nice to see you. You are a creator of your own reality. Neutral. But if you're operating in the world with black and white thinking, there's no neutrality to that. There's no neutrality. There's no neutrality in black and white thinking. I just have to say it again because it said a poor connection. I've been coming on the internet with way too much power lately, and I have been coming into little disconnection situations, not just here, but other places as well. So we can't exist in the neutral frequency if we're looking at things as black and white, right and wrong. It's not possible. We can't see ourselves as creators of our own life if we are trying to impress the creator and we are separate from it or them or him. I like to think of God as a him. That's just my way of interacting with it. But, with that being said, moving away from good and bad, right and wrong thinking, it's difficult. It's not easy because it requires you to become deeply rooted in who you are. It requires you to get to know yourself on a completely different level. It requires you to not only honor all of the great things about you, but also the shadow aspects of you. And be able to embrace those shadow aspects just as deeply as you embrace the lightness aspects. So, this is where people come to spirituality and then they get into all the love and light stuff. Hey, nice to see you. They get into all of this love and light stuff. And they only focus on the love and light. That's not me. I have to be honest with you, because that creates a polarity in my experience. If you are trying so hard to ignore the shadow, ignore the dark, there's an internal, how do I say this? There's an internal tension that's built inside of your body. And that tension makes you snap out, react to people. It makes you become more reactive to life because you feel like, I don't have the full spectrum. I'm not able to play with the full spectrum of life. I'm putting myself in a box. So this isn't just about religion. This is also about being aware enough to be open to the full spectrum of life, to be open to duality as it plays out on both sides, because then you are grounded in the middle of it. You can hold neutral. You can't hold neutral if you're only focusing on the negative or you're only focusing on the positive. And if you want to become a creator of your own life, you need to step into the frequency of godliness, of divinity, which is neutrality. Neutrality. So, yesterday I got a little bit of a hater. It was a little bit of a hater. I know I felt that reality of wow, a year ago, this would have totally would have taken me out. And then on top of it, this hater, maybe we shouldn't call them a hater. This person with an opinion, that's what they are. That's all that haters are. They're just people with opinions. And I'm just a person with an opinion. But if you let people with opinions sway you, then who are you? Really? Who are you if you're letting everybody's opinion sway you? You don't know who you are. But this person with an opinion, she was my second grade teacher. And I'm in this place in my life where I respect my teachers. I don't care how crazy backhanded, judgmental they are of me, I respect them. And I trust that everybody is playing their role so that I can learn whatever I'm meant to learn in this life. Like, we all are unique puzzle pieces to the life that's playing out. So I can't make people wrong for having an opinion either, right? I can't make people wrong for having an opinion, but at the same time, I can recognize, what is this deepening in me, what I know about to be true about me? Because either way, I can get energy from this situation, and I'm doing that right now. But I'm using the energy to create instead of destroy. I could easily turn it inward, make it about me, ask myself if I need to go to church and be absolved from my sins for pulling freaking oracle cards. But I'm not there. I know who I am, so I don't need to go there. I can say, oh, this is interesting. What does this deepen in my knowing of who I am and what I'm here to do and my unique role in this picture of life? And how can I really honor that about myself? And I know I'm supposed to speak more about this exact thing. Right and wrong, good or bad, it's a limited frame of thinking. Right and wrong, good or bad, it's difficult to respect the plethora of teachers that come through your life, and everything and everyone is a teacher. But in particular, there are teachers who are actually teachers, right? For many, many years, in my first few years of investing in myself and my business, hiring coaches, going and getting yoga certifications, all these things, right? I always left every experience for a long period of time, up until I would say the last, 2 years or so, last 18 months or so. I feel like I integrated a new way of being with this, but I would always leave those experiences I'm dissatisfied. That was a lot of money. They didn't do everything that they said that they were going to do. And if I would have done it, I would have done it this way, I would have done better at this. That was a huge miss. They could have gone deeper in this part. I don't feel like the teacher really saw me. I don't feel like this person really respected me. I don't feel like they were being sensitive to my needs. And a lot of us get into this place, and then this is what stops you from developing. This is what stops you from being able to get to a place where you evolve into a higher state of consciousness. That higher state of consciousness being there is no right or wrong, and it's all a teacher. Even the parts that you disagree with, even the parts where you feel frustrated, disappointed, mad, whatever it may be, it's all a teacher. But if you focus so much on those things, then you miss all of the goodness. You miss all of the learnings, and then you cut yourself off from receiving more. Well, I'm not going to go do another yoga teacher training because the last few that I've done have just been they were just trying to get money from me. Maybe they were just doing their best. How much more could you receive from that experience if you really trusted that that was the truth? They were doing their absolute best. And even if they didn't give you exactly what they were supposed to give you or what you expected to get, you got exactly what you needed from that person. And there's a certain point in our personal and our professional development where we have to get out of right and wrong thinking in order to become safe leaders, not for just other people, but for ourselves, in leading ourselves. In leading ourselves. It's if you're not going to feel comfortable being led by someone who isn't able to navigate nuance, who isn't able to receive feedback and say, hey, I hear you. I hear you on that. And I can either say, I agree, and this is what I'm going to do, or I disagree, and this is why. Remove judgment and expectations, 100%. We have to remove the judgment and expectations. Otherwise, you cut yourself off from really receiving the depth of what's available to you in life. And I want more people to step up. If that's your frame of mind, you're not going to feel safe to step into the role of a teacher. Reconnect. And I want you to feel safe to step into the role of being a teacher. Because the role of being a teacher is actually quite simple. You own who you are fully, and you let people learn from that. And people learn in two ways. Do you know the two ways? I'll share it with you. People learn in two ways. These are the only two ways that people learn. Through validation and through contrast. The people who can't receive contrasting teachings also can't give contrasting teachings. And that means that you can't fully own who you are. If I can't allow people to learn from me through contrast, then I'm going to constantly be walking on eggshells, trying to perfectly, curate an experience for them where they are super, super happy with me and they have, no judgment or feedback or anything like that. And that's just it's not reasonable. It's not reasonable. You have to be willing to not only learn through validation and contrast, but also to teach people through validation and contrast. And you do that by owning who you are, by knowing who you are and rooting yourself in that. So that people with opinions don't sway you all over the place. And this is a process. This is something that we have to do step by step by step by step. Like when I became aware that I was existing in this black and white thinking, and I was cutting myself off from receiving in so many ways, although I was doing all the things, investing in all the things, doing all the meditations, everything, right? When I became aware, there was a process to that. There was a little bit of a moment of self-reckoning, of having to forgive myself for not knowing what I know now. Hi, Miss Angelique. Nice to see you. So, we have to get out of that frame of thinking so that other people then recognize that's an option for them too. Because we all have beautiful gifts inside. We all have the ability to teach. And it breaks my heart when I sit with people, I do sessions with them, and I see their light. I see them in their highest. I see them showing up in bigger ways than they currently are. And you can just tell that they aren't strong enough to handle the judgment from other people. They won't put themselves out there to do what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing right now, talking to you on the live, this is the test of our times. This is it. You being able to show up and own your authentic self and trust that that's enough, that you'll be well supported and well taken care of from that. So trust that your authentic self is enough, because what I'm doing right now, this is the test of our times. Our parents in the Aquarian age, or for me, my mom is I'm 31 right now. Yeah, I'm 31. I stopped counting at 25, but I'm 31. Our parents, the test of their times was to follow the rules. That was their test. Follow the rules, fall in line, don't ask questions. Now, own your authentic self. Ask questions. Make your own rules. And if you can allow yourself to do that, there's a lot that becomes available to you, a lot more than is currently available to you. But you have to, I'm closer to your parents' age, and that is 100, yeah. Right? Yeah, fall in line, go to work, get the job. And this is where a lot of millennial children with their I think it's boomer parents, where there's a lot of conflict, right? What do you mean you're gonna go not work a job and get insurance and do all of X, Y, Z? What do you mean you're not going to do that? That's crazy. Yeah, conform. Conform, fall in line, do what you're supposed to do. You get a good salary, you get a retirement, you get to retire, you get to enjoy the last 3 years of your life, and then you get sick, and then, I think that the millennials, thank God we were put in such a pressure cooker because we were able to see, wait, hold on, this doesn't make any sense. I have a degree, working a job, and I'm making just enough money to pay my bills and can't even invest in the future. So I'm going to go do what I want to go do. I'm going to go make my own path. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to invest in my own personal brand. I'm going to invest in learning skills that make me more valuable to the world in general, not just valuable to an employer. Right? And there are certain skills that will make you more valuable in general, right? You'll be able to add more value to the world. And when you can add more value to the world, then more value is returned back to you. So one of those things, public speaking. This is people's biggest fear. People would rather swim with sharks than public speak. This is the test of our times. This is your battle, so to speak. Owning yourself, knowing yourself, and trusting that that's enough, trusting that you're worthy of receiving from that place. And you can work a job and there's nothing wrong with working a job, by the way. But you can work a job and give blindly to that job for years and years, waiting for the promotion, waiting for the whatever it is that you've been promised, what is it called after you're there for a certain number of years and then you get to keep more of your 401k. The name escapes me, but y'all probably know what I'm talking about. Vested, you get vested at your job. You can do all of that, but there's still so much unknown. Yeah, invested, yeah. There's still so much that's unknown to that. My own mother, she worked at a company for 20 plus years and they just were sorry, we cut the budgets. Go figure something else out. So no matter what, there's risk involved. So don't, my awareness here, what I want to open up to you is that there's always risk involved. And if there's risk involved, then you might as well do what it is that you actually want to do. And honestly, the life that I'm living right now, I'm living on a prayer. I'm living on the edge every single day, and I'm okay with it now. But it's been difficult at times to become okay with it. Right? I should just go back to work. I should just go get a job. I should just fall in line with what I'm supposed to do. My mom is right. But you know what? I've held my ground now. I left my job in, actually, wild. Today was my last day 3 years ago. Just looked at the calendar. Today was my last day 3 years ago. And I've held firm with my mother and have to show her it's going to be okay. Things are going to come together. But I have to give it space so that I can receive that. Yeah, thank you. It is quite the feat. I have to give it space though. If I don't give God space to show me what he can do in my life, then I'll never be able to believe in miracles. I'll never be able to really feel that natural kind of symbiotic relationship between me and nature. And the truth is, you always have what you need. And I can tell you that without a freaking doubt, without a doubt at this point, because I've lived in it for the last 3 years. When I left my job, I refinanced my house. I had a chunk of money that I took out. And I lived on that for a while. And I invested in myself, invested in my business. But, there comes a point in entrepreneurship where nobody gets to avoid the truth of okay, we're cutting it real close. And in those moments, I'm shown what I'm made of, and I get to see, oh, God provides. If I give him space, if I allow myself to trust, God provides. It's the truth. And, everybody's circumstances are a little bit different. So I'm not in any way saying go quit your job and go live your life on the edge. But I do want to say, like, from actually doing that myself, once you get past all the like, oh my God, this is so uncomfortable and it's like a whole different way of being. Once you get beyond that, you're fine. You're totally fine. Like, I'm in Aruba right now. From a logical standpoint, I have no reason to be here at all. Literally, at all. But I've allowed myself to play in the field of potentiality. I've allowed myself to become aware of the beauty and the abundance and the prosperity that's all around me. This summer, I said to myself at the beginning of the summer, and I had just gone through a huge, like, a huge reckoning in my financial landscape. Let's just put it that way. I definitely want to share more details about that, but right now it just doesn't feel totally baked. But I went through a huge reckoning, and I said to myself, I was like, okay, so here's the deal. I want to travel this summer. I'm sick of being stuck in Austin. I love being here, but like my soul moves around a lot. Like, I grew up, my dad works for United Airlines. I grew up, like, my first bath was in a tub at a hotel in Maui, because my parents both went to Maui for their paternity and maternity leave. I've been traveling all over the world since I was born. Sagittarius North Node. Like, I'm all about travel, adventure, and learning about myself through moving around. But from like a financial standpoint, it was like, setting this goal of traveling all over the world just didn't make any sort of logical sense. But since then, I've spent almost 20 days in New York City, almost 2 weeks in Mexico City, and now I've been in Aruba for a month on the 6th, so close to a month. And I've been asked to extend my stay here until November. Like, when you are open to all of the possibilities, you have the ability to be surprised. So the black and white thinking ultimately closes us off from different possibility. It closes off us off from the field of potentiality and possibility, the quantum field. People talk about quantum leaps. That exists in the field of potentiality, possibility, just being open to many different things coming through. So I don't want to encourage people to move into what's right for me and what's wrong for me thinking, simply because I think that that's a better way of living. I want to encourage people into that because that opens you up to the field of potentiality. It opens you up to all of the possibilities. So it's like, where am I limiting myself based on my beliefs of how I think I'm supposed to be, or what is right or what is wrong based on what somebody else has said? Because there is no objective right or wrong. It's just what's right for you and what's wrong for you. That's it. And when you can hold firm in that and what's right for me and what's wrong for me, you can do scary things. You can take risks in your life. You can actually live. Go out there and live your life. Live your life fully. Not just a shell of a life of what I think is safe. Life isn't safe. Every moment of every single day, there's something that could happen you could be like, poof, immediately. So this trying to create this or chasing after safety, security. This is a little bit spicy, but security doesn't exist. It's a construct. It's not something that you're actually going to ever arrive at. It can be a standard that you hold for yourself. It can be an energy that you kind of align yourself to. But even the most secure situation, still something could still happen. God is powerful. He can swipe his hand and all of the circumstances change. And then what's left at the end of that is you. So when we're in this place of right and wrong, good or bad thinking, we're looking all around us. All of the circumstances are giving us our power instead of you having your power, meaning that you are powerful, you are strong, you can do whatever you want, no matter what. If you're not reliant on the circumstances to define your level of powerfulness, then if the circumstances change, you're still powerful. And this is why they don't teach us this. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. And this is why they don't teach us this. This is why they don't teach us how to navigate nuance, because it makes you powerful. It makes you a creator of your own life. And that conflicts with the narrative. It conflicts with the narrative of control. And they want you to feel controlled. And I don't want to perpetuate this us versus them scenario, but there is without a doubt truth in the fact, that some people benefit from having control and you not knowing that you have your power. There's just truth in that. It's not hating on those people who are in control. It's just recognizing that there is truth in that. So if I'm giving my power away, that means I can also keep it. That might be a harder or more challenging path, but at least it brings me to this place of knowing myself. And that's really the only security you can have. That's the only real sense of security that there is. It's knowing who you are, knowing your values, knowing what you're here to do. That's how you create security, not through some job, not through millions of dollars in the bank, not through a trust fund, not through a sugar daddy, not through drop shipping or whatever. It comes down to you at the end of the day. So just wanted to share these little bits about moving away from black and white thinking into a more nuanced way of being and living, and know that that's a process. It takes time. Doesn't happen automatically. First, we become aware that there's another option, and then we start to get very conscious of the beliefs that are creating our reality. And then asking ourselves, is that my belief? Or is that the church's belief? Is that my mom's belief, my dad's belief? Is that belief actually serving me? And you ask people, like, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to be? Like, you know, what's your big dream? Like, so many people are like, I don't know. Because it's scary to think about that. It's scary to own that, because then that means, well, now I know I can't unknow it. Now I got to actually go do something about it. So allow yourself to peel back the layers of your reality, of who you are, of what it is that you believe, and actually take ownership of what it is that you desire. There's nothing wrong with desire, but religion will have you thinking that there's something wrong with desire. They benefit from you being under their control. And in some ways, people choose to have that black and white thinking, good and bad relationship. A lot of people do choose that, because it's just it's dreams that I really want to bring forward. And I know that these dreams are not just about me. these dreams are about me really stepping into like the fact that I'm here to serve a purpose that is greater than me. I'm here to not just do it. I do it for the evolution of the world. So that's what I have to share with you today. My phone is on 1%. So I'm going to let this land. If you have anything that comes up, anything you want to chat with me about, feel free to send me a message or comment below. I'm going to post this to my page. And I really enjoyed having this time and space to share this conversation with you. So thank you for being here with me today. We're going to call it for now. Peace and Satnam. Bye-bye.